Good afternoon and welcome to NFTs Live. I'm your host, Tyler D. It is Tuesday, January 11th, a sunny and cold day in Chicago. We are coming off of one of the craziest weekends in NFT history. I can't wait to break it down here today. To help me, I've got Brett Richey. Brett, how you doing?
Doing good, Tyler. How you doing?
Doing great. Can't wait to get into this. We've got a ton to cover. We're going to try to keep the show to 30 minutes today. On the docket, we're going to start with the latest airdrop, Looks Rare. We're going to take a look at their marketplace, what they're all about, their tokenomics, and then the bull and bear case for them as a platform. Then we're going to talk Asia storming into the NFT market, the impact they've had, and which NFTs they like early on. Then we'll go around the horn on our typical segments. We'll take a look at the IC 3-day board, take a look at the market movers from this weekend. We'll quickly go into one-on-ones and talk about Dan Guiza's big week. Then we'll hit the floors from WGMI.io. And then at the end of the show, we'll take a quick look at Gary V's Book Games debut. Sound good? All right, let's get started. Top news, top story. We got another airdrop just Sunday night, early Monday morning, the Looks Rare token tied to the Looks Rare marketplace. So we're going to pull up the screen here, talk a little bit about what this is. So looksrare.org, it is a new OpenSea decentralized competitor on their homepage. Trade NFTs, get rewards. Looks Rare is the community first NFT marketplace with rewards for participating. Buy NFTs or sell them to earn rewards. As you scroll down, you can get a sense of their homepage. They show the top collections that are trending. They have a look at the APR that you can receive by staking your Looks tokens. So a little bit of DeFi here mixed in with NFTs, and then a little bit about listing. I want to go to one of their about pages and just share a little bit more about this marketplace from the founding teams. So a few of their key principles here. By NFT people for NFT people. This is from the ground up. This seems to be a very community first platform. And one of the ways they're looking to implement that is through the rewarding system. So the rewards are a really essential and integral part of all of this. You can, by buying or selling NFTs, you earn these Looks tokens. You share the platform fees. 100% of the trading fees are earned by the stakers, which is pretty huge. And then contrast that to OpenSea, 2.5%, it goes just right into their pockets. And then creators are getting paid instantly. They go on to say not a fork. They've got custom contracts here with a few new features, some pretty powerful features. The collection offer, where you can offer on any of the NFTs in a set. You can do trade offers and then multi-cancellation. So that's a little bit about the platform itself. Before we get into the bull case and bear case, and I want to hear Brett's thoughts, I just want to take a quick look at the tokenomics. So I feel like one of the reactions that we're all getting accustomed to with these airdrops is, do you just sell right away and move on with your life, just take the free money? Well, as folks kind of took a look at the tokenomics, they're quite a bit different for Looks Rare, and it's actually it's a part of the bull case and the reason to hold. So if we take a look, 75% of the tokens allocated to the community, of which 12% are in this airdrop, 19% in the staking rewards, 44% for trading. And then the founding team gets 10%. But as you go down and you look at their emission schedule and then the token release schedule, well, the founding team and the treasury tokens don't get unlocked until 6 months in. So we're not at any risk right now of any of the founders just kind of turning around and dumping their tokens on us after any kind of a pump. And I think the market started to figure that out, and it's been pretty well received. So I'll pause there. This is a quick overview of the platform and the tokenomics. I want to walk through the bull and bear case a little bit. Brett, kick us off. What's your bull case on Looks Rare as a potential OpenSea competitor here?
Yeah, I mean, the bull case is that this is a much better platform for a trader in a vacuum than OpenSea, right? For those of us who traded on OpenSea last year, right, we got an airdrop, which is very nice given the prices that this is trading at. And you can look that people are being incentivized to trade on this platform. So it's 2% instead of 2.5%. You save 0.5% on the fee. And then you also are going to get tokens back in sort of proportion to your activity. So in a vacuum, it's great. There's no reason to use OpenSea. However, OpenSea has all the liquidity, right? They have this huge head start. And that's the real question here is, can these guys pull liquidity away from OpenSea? Because nobody, you've had Rarible, Super Rare, which is definitely a little bit different, but a lot of these platforms, and OpenSea is 95% of the volume still. Sushi launched their, FTX launched, no one cares. So, but this to me has a way better tokenomics than Sushi, right, which already has its DeFi thing in this sort of token that's already mooned. So this is, people are looking at this like you could be in on the ground floor. It's still, you know, several $100 million fully diluted market cap. But a lot of that market cap is these rewards that are coming back out to the traders. So it's not quite the same as like people are just sitting back and holding a lot of these tokens to dump. It's 230 million would be like the team and the investors, and then their like ecosystem fund, not the other 50%.
Right. So the token incentives are one of the biggest bull case factors. A couple others on my list. Some of the biggest NFT influencers are tied into this, and you know, maybe that's, you know, that could be good or bad. You know, certainly depending on how they move forward. But
I mean, people are mad. Cole, who got in a lot of trouble for basically rugging the Penguins, this guy, pretty not respected in the space. Like he was an investor, but I mean, who knows when they let this guy invest? Who knows how much? Like, it doesn't really matter. He's not part of the team. It's like there's going to be people holding coins or NFTs that you don't like and stuff you have. So if you let one guy, I don't like that guy, but I'm not letting it change my strategy with this coin.
Right. There's plenty of, you know, good or positive influencers like DZ, Dingaling. I think those are two guys who are pretty universally well, you know, respected in the space. And another, so they've got big audiences, but also they're big traders, right? So they know some of the pitfalls or the problems with OpenSea. So they'll have some good insight into product features. And we've already started to see that. Like the universal offers is a huge feature.
I would love that. I wish OpenSea had that. It's a great feature. It can't. I know OpenSea, in my opinion, probably pushed a lot of their features because their growth was so insane last year that they just focused like keep the ship running. But at some point, you do want to be innovating, right? It's still a pretty early stage product on OpenSea, which I think OpenSea is great. But I mean, if these guys can out execute them on the product side and you're incentivizing your users much more, I see the bull case, right? Yeah. Startups are risky is the bear case. It's not that easy to pull liquidity away from the 95% market share. So
yeah, so let's dive into the bear case a little bit. You've kind of started laying it out. OS has a big moat, right? They've got all the NFTs, you know, all the users are over there. To simply list your NFTs again on Looks Rare, you're paying the gas fees, right? So already that's kind of a built-in moat to keep your prior set of NFTs listed on OpenSea versus Looks Rare. So you'll have to do the math there if you think the token rewards will outweigh the gas. Then you've got token unlocks coming in 6 months, right? And that's pretty far out from where we're at right now. But you know what's going to happen there. I think the biggest, you know, red flag or potential risk is the attention meter. You know, attention is all that matters right now in crypto and NFTs. Is Looks Rare going to be able to keep everyone's attention and keep, you know, users coming back, you know, day in, day out? So those are my open questions. You know, anything else on your list from a bear case perspective?
No, I think that covers it. I mean, the token price too, like that's keeping people's attention now. It's everyone got a pretty good airdrop. I think the cheapest airdrop, the smallest tier of 125. That's still like over $500 now for the smallest traders, all the way up to tens of thousands. for bigger traders. So the top tier might even be six figures now. I'm not sure. I don't think quite, but you're going to have a lot of these rewards, farming or whatever rewards, trading fees. A lot of the people are going in and just, maybe making big trades just to get their volume up, to get a portion of the airdrop, which is what I think it's at these prices, they're unlocking like millions a day of dollars worth of tokens per day. And I think that could lead to a lot of sell pressure on the market from people who maybe they wash trade to get their volume up, and then they're looking to recoup that cost immediately, kind of like an arbitrage play. So there should be a lot of sell pressure, but there's been a lot of sell pressure out of the gate. I saw over 60% of the tokens have been claimed. And a lot of people just go to sell right away. Oh, it's free money, I'll go sell. So like day one is going to have a ton of sell pressure. And so I think it's performed well in spite of that. And from here, we'll see. I'm personally holding mine. I'm not opposed to selling it at some point. I'm staking it. I really like their staking too, because you only need to stake their coin and you get more looks, and it automatically compounds. So you stake the rewards immediately go into stake also. Whereas a lot of times you need to provide liquidity also. So you need to put in ETH to match your looks. So you're tying up money, and then you're kind of at risk to the token price going one way or the other. You're going to end up with either more looks or more ETH. So this sort of one-sided staking, I really like. It's very like casual user friendly.
It's solid. I think we rounded out both cases. I'm leaning bull myself, but this is certainly one to keep watching, and we'll make sure to revisit here on the show. Second lead story, Asia in the marketplace. So let's take a look quickly at the Dune dashboard for OpenSea. We got to see Sunday's volume, $260 million. The highest day that we've seen since the peak in August. I was looking back, we hit 350 one day in August, and the next was 267. So almost the second highest day of sales ever. And it really seems like the underlying story of this volume spike is the Asia market. So there's been a ton of speculation on, where is Asia moving? Which projects do they favor? So I like this tweet by DeFi Brian, and I don't know if it's 100% true or not. So of course, NFA, DYOR, but he called out a list of about 6 products and added a few more. So first on his list, Fanta Bears, and we'll talk about them in a second. Capsule House, Ready Player Cat, Hearts NFT, X Rabbits Club, and Azuki Zen as either top Asian artists or products that the Asian market might be playing quite a bit. So 100% Fanta Bears and Hearts NFT saw massive volume and spikes. And we know that Asian influencers, I want to say like a Korean music star, and then another Asian music star is using the Hearts NFT for their PFP. Let's take a look at what this did for Fanta Bear volumes. I'm showing the 7-day stats from Crypto Slam here. Number 2 on the board. Neck and neck, only $50,000 less than Bored Ape Yacht Club, the number one blue chip project that's blowing everyone out of the water in NFTs right now. Fanta Bears is right there, neck and neck. Brett, what's your reaction? I started seeing Fanta Bears last week. I had no clue what it was. And then the floor price just kept rocking up, tons of volume. They've done 20,000 ETH in volume in 7 days. What do you make of this?
Yeah, I think one in 2021, Asia was definitely not really in NFTs, kind of oddly quiet, I would say. And so I think that there's been that's been a narrative people have either been hoping for or predicting. Especially South Korea, for example, it's a very digital economy world. Games are so popular there. It makes a lot of sense that they would get in on NFTs at some point. So I think the Fanta Bear, same thing we've seen here in the US, I guess. It's a very influencer driven world, right? And so you see the power of, I've looked up the guy, I forget who it is, but he has like 40 million followers or something on one of the social platforms. I think he had a lot. And you see the power of that, like almost He changes his profile picture, then the influencers start saying, oh, this is the Korean BAYC or whatever, and then a bunch of other people hop on, sort of trading that narrative. So I looked at these. I don't like buying typically once something's run up so much, and I'm just trying to trade the hype or whatever. And I think these were already over 4 by the time I paid attention to them, so I've stayed away from this. But I know other people that have bought them. I think it's a very reasonable move, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue with some of these key stats up top here. 5,100 owners on a 10K set a week into the project. That's a great distribution. 21,000 ETH traded, 5.5. So this one has been an absolute roller coaster. It got as high as 8.5 ETH floor at one point. It's since retraced as low as 4, then back up to 7. It's a roller coaster every single day. So I think there's going to be a lot of eyes on this one heading into the weekend. And then the Hearts NFT, also top 15 projects in Crypto Slam. So we're starting to see the impact. That's a good seg here into our market update. So let's go ahead and pull up the IC board and take a look at the 3-day market movers. So we see top of the list, Phantom Bears. We've touched on them already, but almost 10,000 ETH just in the last 3 days, 2x the next. But we've got a new, this morning when I logged in, the Heart product was number 2. So my narrative was going to be quite easy with Asia dominating the market. Crypto Skulls overnight, 5,000 ETH, basically in the last 12 to 18 hours. I'm going to pull up their page. The story here is that this is like the NFT archaeologist, pulls this up. It apparently is the second 10K PFP set potentially. Brett, I know these old products are something that are kind of right up your alley. What's your take on the skulls here?
I missed this one completely. It's definitely, this is the kind of thing where I like to grab a few at 0.05, which it was sitting at forever. And then you just sort of wait for that spark. You never know where it's going to come from. I think here Gary V bought some last night, and then the archaeologist or in some order, a few influential people bought, a few influencers were like, hey, look at this. And then they completely moved. Like, I would say this, I've seen this story play out a lot, and I don't like buying in like once the run is really underway. Like, you could buy these for 0.05 yesterday. People were showing up today and paying 1. I'm not giving yesterday's guy a 20x. Personally, that's just my style. Where it's just like, I missed it. It's too bad. But I expect this to come back down. I don't think it's going to stay up there.
Yeah, I think
maybe I'm just salty because I missed it though.
We've seen this price arc play out before. So we're all, or a lot of us who were here last year, we saw a full cycle play out. Several of us have some hard lessons learned. One of those lessons is don't chase FOMO waves. If something is 10x in the last day, like to your point, don't pay the guy 10x what he paid last night. And we actually, I'm taking a look at the sales history. There was a spike early November where this narrative took off. The average sales price went from 0.05 to 0.4, then slowly back down. And now the floor price is back to 0.7, but certainly a risky entry point here. But I am curious if we're going to see all these old projects, start to have one more pump like this in this January bull market. It's definitely something to maybe dig out your archaeologist gear.
And it might not even be here. So one of the ones I like too are like early 2021 projects, pre-Bored Ape. The quality is typically better than some of like the really early, like the Crypto Skulls, right? It's more, you're buying that because it's early. And I do think at some point, whether it's this year, 2025, right, the future archaeologists are going to look back at even these 2021 NFTs. And I do consider pre-Bored Ape to be like a pretty big differentiator because they changed the game in such a big way that I think some of those projects will catch heat. So I've got a few really cheap entry prices, although with gas, it's not that cheap, but like 0.01 to 0.05, I like to buy a bunch of pieces and then just hold it and hope that a spike like this Crypto Skull spike happens to them.
Yeah, I like those plays a lot. It's one of those super asymmetric bets. You've got really low downside. You're paying 0.01, 0.02. We won't go into detail, but both Brett and I made a similar play on Plasma Bears last year, which played out very well. So that's the success story that you can have with some of those plays.
And one success makes up for 10 losses in these kind of plays.
It does.
But you're also tying up it's a long-term kind of, because you don't know what you can't, there's no liquidity to get rid of it. So you're just putting the money in the bank, and maybe you could withdraw it at some point, and maybe it's just total dust.
Yeah. It's high risk, high upside play with, a cap downside of your low entry price. Headed back to the board, I want to just talk. The other real storyline was the cute PFPs that pumped all weekend and now are retracing a bit. So it's really these three, and I'm going to group them together because I feel like they've been moving in tandem. Alien Friends, Cool Man's Universe, and the Little Lemon Friends. So Alien Friends at 3,000 ETH. They went all the way up to 4.5, I want to say, floor. Now they're back down to 3.2. Cool Man's similar trajectory, went all the way up to 1.8, now sitting back at 1.25. And then the Lemons all the way to 1, and they're now back down around 0.55 or so. It's interesting. It's a trend I'm watching. So back in the August mania, we had this weekday cycle where everything pumped on the weekends. It kind of peaked on Sunday or early Monday. And then it slowly retraced all week until about Thursday. And then the weekend pump started again. So I'm very curious if these new PFPs are going to act like the Artblocks of last August, and if we're going to see similar price arcs. Are you watching these? What's your thoughts on some of the PFP?
I've paid loose attention. Again, they already kind of ran a bunch by the time I was paying attention. Alien Friends was the one that I did like. And looked at more closely. The Lemons, to me, that was just a pass. I didn't particularly like the art that much at those prices. Cool Man's, I'm kind of in that same boat. I didn't think it was, and art doesn't always matter, and my own opinion doesn't always matter. But to really hit that mainstream audience, I just wasn't as sure. I think the Alien Friends would be my favorite of the three, even if they are. The highest price. The mutants they've teased look really cool. And but my style is, okay, those already ran up a bunch. I'm going to try and find the next one that could run up like that at a cheaper entry price.
And really the only narrative or driver that's going to get it past that 3 to 4 ETH hump is some real utility coming out of the teams. As we know, that's what the market is demanding and craving right now. So that's something to watch out for if those project teams can really deliver that. We've got about 7 minutes left. So I'm going to go rapid fire through a couple segments here. I want to hit one-on-ones. Dan Gwiz had an absolute huge week. So he sold 2 pieces. This first High Grounds here sold for 75 ETH to Trill Vault. You get a sense here for his style, and each of the pieces are pretty recognizable. It's that cyberpunk dystopian future type piece here. So he sold this one for 75, and then he sold Waiting just a day later for 63 ETH. So a nice, cool 140 ETH in sales here for Dan Gwiz, cementing himself as one of the leading crypto artists, digital artists in the space right now.
I mean, that's a beautiful piece. That looks really cool. So good for him.
Definitely on my list, if I can ever get there, is to try to collect one from Dan, but that's going to be a big ask there. There's a few other notable sales. We'll put them in the show notes. Kath Samard had a nice 20 ETH sale. Matt Kane had a 20 ETH sale as well. I want to show quickly some of the floors from WGMI. Not really a whole lot of notable action. I think probably the biggest story is the Bored Apes are at 77. They're rumored to be in the Super Bowl halftime show, and they've just blasted past the CryptoPunks at this point. They've got a 16 ETH edge, up 10% on the week, minus 9% on the week. So it doesn't really look like those two are even close to each other here for the foreseeable future. Scrolling through, Mutants are at 15, Cool Cats steady at 11. The Doodles flipped them for a bit, and the Doodles are still neck and neck right at 10.8. They're having a fantastic week. I'm trying to see anything else notable. The Meebits moved up a bit. Meebits are at 4. they've been seeing some tremendous volume on Looks Rare, but it seems like it's mostly wash trading and some fake sales. So just be weary when you just take a look at volume numbers. There can be more to the story there. Then I have to unfortunately call out the Toads. The Toads are not having the best new year. They're down at 2.88, down 30% on the week in a very big bull market week. So tough time for the Toad owners. Artblocks, the floors really haven't moved too much. What I do want to highlight quickly is the Chimera drop. So we highlighted this last week. It was, pretty acclaimed. A lot of folks were looking forward to it. It had what to me is the new Artblocks mint out price point. So this one minted out at 2.4 in a gas war. I think it was effectively about 2.6. It then traded about 2,000 ETH on secondary. The floor got all the way up to about 4.4 at peak before the undercutters came in. Some of the liquidity dried up a bit, and it fell back to 2.5. So Brett, are you actively monitoring and trying to mint Artblocks at this point, or kind of what's your perspective?
I'm not, but I do think that like the market is a lot better than it has been in October, November, December, where I was taking, I guess, like a more passive, just kind of buying some long-term stuff, not really actively trading as much. I'm shifting back more into looking at new projects, looking at new mints, looking at early secondary plays. And so I think Artblocks, it makes sense to watch them. I didn't pay attention to this drop. I may have chased the steam at 2.4 to mint out, but like that to me is a bit much to pay for Artblocks in this environment. You're not seeing a ton of upside there. But like curated down to around 1, I think is definitely something I'm looking to be interested to mint at. I think that Factory and Playground will have some opportunities there, but for the most part, if again the market of buyers is mostly flippers, it's really hard to. I think most of the projects you're probably going to like lose small on for the most part, but again, we've seen random Artblock stuff can just go on these runs, so it's probably plus EV, but high variance.
And so much of it depends if it gets botted or not, which is very hard to tell in a live auction. So this one went out in a gas war in 2.4. It sold so quickly, it was really hard to tell. We saw some really solid price action, which I think indicated to me that it really wasn't that botted. It was actually at 800 unique owners at one point. It's down to 728. But if anyone's interested in the drop, it is a beautiful drop, and it's actually below mint price. So just because you missed out on the mint, you still have an option to get in same price everyone else did. All right, we've got about 3 minutes left. I want to end the show talking just a bit about Gary V's book games. So folks may remember everyone ordering libraries full of books to be able to participate in his second big NFT project where it's out. We'll link the website in the show notes, but you can go to the homepage and see all about what VFriends is about, how to play the game, how to claim the tokens. Just really quickly, I'll highlight the 4 reasons from their website of why they love the book games. 1, you can play it forever. 2, you can burn the book games tokens into assets. So this is, I think, one of the first times we've seen this. Gary is offering up NFTs from his own personal collection. You can burn,
and like baseball cards and stuff too.
Oh wow, I didn't even see that.
Yeah.
So you can, I think he's assigning like a 0.1 ETH value to these. So you can burn the token and then select something out of his collection. There's a marketplace for it. Another driver or benefit of these is it's essentially a mint pass where you'll have a 12.5 day chance window to mint VFriends Series 2. We know VFriends Series 1, one of the highest performing NFT projects of 2021. So certainly there will be a lot of demand. And then there are some new characters that introduced, new VFriends characters that you can mint potentially, but only by burning the tokens. So there's definitely a bit to unpack here. The marketplace opened last night. We'll just quickly take a look at what it looks like. This is over on Token Trove, so you can get a glimpse of what these NFTs look like, what they're trading for. And again, we'll link this all in the show notes. But are you playing book games? Are you following this at all, Brett? Or are you just kind of sitting out?
Not really. I didn't buy the books, but I think it's. I mean, Gary, he's always going to work to deliver, right? I think betting on Gary has been a very successful strategy in NFTs so far. So,
yeah, I tend to agree. I think betting on the biggest and best influencers has been a pretty profitable strategy. We've seen VFriends. I missed out
especially
on
the ones
those.
that
Big
care,
regret.
right? Like
Yeah.
if there's some of them that are really, I would say, shady, that are looking to rug people, or they only care about their own personal gain. Whereas like, Gary's not he's not hopping from project to project or whatever. Like he's obviously he's gonna probably made a lot of VFriends, but like that's what he's been working on.
Yeah, it's his namesake project. He's gonna be here, and by all reports, he's a good guy and absolutely cares about the NFT space. So this is one I'll be definitely looking at. I think there might be some game theory, some benefits in trying to buy some floors right now for some of these potential burning options, but we'll definitely need to look into it. All right, 30 minutes. We did it. We covered everything. Brett, thank you. That's our show for today. To our listeners, thanks for tuning in as always. We'll be back on Friday to recap the week in NFTs. Till then, continue enjoying this bull market, and we'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.
Cheers.